Hey fishing fanatics, Den Haring here. Welcome back to my channel, Fish Den 365. You know, yesterday I was dying to get out on the water. It was Sunday, it was a weekend, and I didn't have my tow vehicle. And that was because my wife had plans for it. She and a friend of hers and both of our daughters spent the weekend at the beach, and they had a girls' weekend together, and they needed the truck to take all of their equipment and everything to the beach. So didn't have the tow vehicle, and my canoe was up at Possum Lodge, so I decided to fish from the bank. And that's what today's episode of Fish Den 365 is all about: bank fishing, how to fish from the bank. You know, you have a lot of opportunities to catch fish when you have a boat because it opens up more area of the water to fish in a lot of cases. But it doesn't mean that bank fishing can't be effective. In fact, in a lot of cases, it's more effective to fish from the bank than from a boat. So today I want to talk about how to be more successful when you're bank fishing. First things first though, when you're fishing from the bank, regardless of if it's a river, a pond, or a lake, you want to step softly and carefully. You want to be careful not to step on any kind of snake or critter that can bite you. So you want to be aware of what your surroundings are when you're stepping. And you don't want to you don't want to be stamping your feet when you're on the bank, because when you do that, you're sending vibrations right out into the water, and it can spook the fish that are nearby. Especially if there's a log or a tree that has fallen from the bank and is in the water. If you step on that tree, you'll make vibrations right through the water, and everything will become alarmed right around that tree at that time. So you definitely want to avoid that. Now, one common thing to look for, regardless if you're on a lake or a river, is bridges and bridge abutments. These are excellent places to focus your energy in fishing. Bridge abutments provide current breaks, they funnel the current, and they provide cover for bait fish. And so anytime you have collection of bait fish, you have the predator fish always nearby, and it's a feeding area for a lot of the predator fish. So bridge abutments is always something you want to look for. If you can reach them from shore, they're going to mean catching fish, because it's just a great way to fish from the shore. Another thing to look for when you're fishing from shore is deep water and shallow water. You want to preferably have both available to you, deep and shallow, and if they're close together, so much the better. In other words, if you're in a shallow area that has a quick break to deep water, those are areas that fish use quite a bit. They can rest in the deeper water, they can hide in the deeper water, and then come feed in the shallows when they're ready to feed. So it's always good to have an area like that to fish from the shore. The bank is often used as an ambush point when you're fishing, whether it's a pond, the river, or a lake. If you think about bait fish, they can't go any further once they're pushed to the bank without coming out of the water. And if you fish the shore enough, you'll see this happen quite a bit, where predator fish are actually chasing fish right up on the bank. It's because they can ambush them to the bank, and then they have a feeding opportunity when they do that. So be aware of that when you're fishing. It's not just about throwing out in the middle of the river or lake or pond. It's about parallel casting along the bank, just maybe 5 feet out from the bank, or even less in some cases, and using those parallel casts to get your bait in front of fish that might be feeding. Anytime you have a dam or a dike or any type of riprap embankment, that's always a good area to focus on, especially the irregularities in that riprap or that embankment or the dam or the dike. And what I mean by irregularity is if the dike makes a sudden turn, or maybe a little bit of an S-turn, or if there's a pipe in the water in front of it, or a cement structure in front of the dam or the dike that you're fishing. These are always high percentage spots. Again, for the same reason, they attract bait fish. They're great ambush spots for the predators, and so you have a great opportunity for catching fish there. If you're fishing clear water, top water is always a good option from the bank, so always keep that in mind. Now, yesterday when I was out, I caught a number of bass. Unfortunately, they are all small ones. There was some storms in the area, and for whatever reason, the small fish were eating. I did catch one large pickerel on a deep diving crankbait, but I was not able to catch any sizable bass. Well, if you found these tips helpful, hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to my channel. it's time to do it. If you enjoy the channel, subscribe and hit that bell. That way you'll be notified when my next videos come out. And I promise I'll be having some very good informative videos coming out very soon. So keep your eye out open for that. Remember to comment, share the videos with your friends, and may God bless your fishing endeavors, and we'll see you on the water.